Hi, my name is Paul Greenberg. I'm a language enthusiast from Toronto on an amazing journey with Anishinaabemowin.
Hi, I'm Isadore Toulouse, also known as Niswe Andeguk in my Anishinaabe name, which means three crows. And I am a specialist in Anishinaabe for the last 40 years.
We decided to create Paul and Isadore Living Anishinaabemowin to share our ongoing dialogue about and in the language with you all. We release episodes regularly and we hope that you enjoy watching it as much as we enjoy making it. If you think that what we are doing is worthwhile and should be seen by others, please hit the like button below. That's how we get seen. And if you want to stay up to date with all of the exciting things we have in store, please be sure to subscribe below. Make sure to turn notifications on so that you will know when we upload a new episode. Wiikwemikoong. And welcome to episode 10 of Paul and Isadore Living Anishinaabemowin. Isadore, Ani.
Ani, Paul, episode 10 already.
Yes.
My goodness, time goes by fast.
Time goes by very, very fast. But the thing I've been realizing recently is that as fast as it goes by, you can't spend too much time worrying about the past or too much time worrying about the future, but you got to really be in the present, in the moment.
That's right. That's exactly right.
So something I've been learning very recently. So you were at a powwow. How was it?
It was good. I was at a powwow this weekend in Mount Pleasant. It was good. A small traditional powwow, but it was good.
Mm-hmm. Awesome.
Yep.
Okay. Well, we have an exciting episode today. We're gonna of course, continue the conversation with Bev, and there's a little bit of a surprise there, which we'll get to. And then we're going to talk about body parts, but in a lot of detail. So I'm looking forward to this.
Literally.
One thing I wanted to do, though, with you is before we start, I'm going to pull up our slides, is just take a moment to remember, recall, reflect, think about Every Child Matters. You know, you and I talked about this, I think, in one of the very early episodes. And at that time, it was 100 and something, the initial one, which was shocking at that time.
Mm-hmm.
Since that time, there have obviously been a lot more discoveries. And I just, you and I were talking about this earlier. I think we agree it's important that people don't get numb to it. And we really keep top of mind what this actually means. These are real people, real lives. The numbers are very big. And we can't just sort of, push this under the rug or pretend like it didn't happen. One question I wanted to ask you is, I just saw this for the first time in Anishinaabemowin down below. Can you tell me, maybe say that phrase and then we can talk about what the words mean?
Sure. It says, Enso bebejik binoji kchipi tendaguze. And in a nutshell, it says every child matters. Every individual child, Enso bebejik binoji kchipi tendaguze, is worth $1 million.
Okay, so let's actually break that down a bit. So the enso, is that each or every?
That would be each or every, either or.
Okay, and then in bebejik, I see bejik, which means one.
Yes.
So is bebejik kind of a way of saying like single or each one?
Yeah, individually. Individually, everyone matters. Like you matter, you matter, you matter, you matter. So enso bebejig.
Okay, and then binojin obviously is child.
Binoji is child, yes.
And then Gachi, I guess, is very. And then you were saying the P tendagozi is. Can you talk about that?
P tendagozi, yeah. If I said Chipi tendagud, it's the inanimate form of Chipi tendagozi. Chipi tendagozi is the animate form.
Mm-hmm.
So Chipi tendagud bimadazuin. My life is worth millions, is worth of great value. Chipi tendaguze.
So tendago, you said the inanimate form is tendago.
Chipi tendagud.
Tendagod. So
Right.
tendagod, does that basically just mean to be worth something, or
Yes,
Okay.
yes, to be worth something. You are valued.
Okay. All right. And then one question I wanted to ask you is, if I understand correctly, Benojin, is that jin at the end? Is that diminutive, or is it?
Benoji. Yeah, it is. Yes, yes.
Okay. So if that's the case, is there a word Benoj?
Benoj. No.
Okay. 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 I was just curious if there's something in that way. But in any case, Benojin is child.
Right, right.
Okay. All right. Well, let's we should obviously, we're of course keeping up to date with the news on this, and let's just, going forward, make sure we don't forget this and keep reminding people how important this is.
Right.
Okay. So I also have a question for you, which, yeah, it's kind of open-ended.
Mhm.
But it's something that I realized it's been in the back of my mind subconsciously, but I just never brought it to the forefront. In the past couple of days, it was just sort of something I thought, oh, maybe I'll ask this to Isadore. So it's, as I say, it's a bit open-ended, but I'm just curious. Truth and reconciliation, it's obviously marketed as a big breakthrough in the media, or at least in certain media.
Mhm.
But I'm just curious, as an Anishinaabe, this thing, truth and reconciliation, what does it mean to you? How do you look at it?
Well, to me, truth and reconciliation means the time for us to begin our healing journey. The past has happened. The people that did these horrible things are now no longer here. The people that continue to suppress the issue are going to pay in the long run.
Mhm.
There are different things that we talk about in this truth and reconciliation of what we endured, what we went through. There's money will not solve the problem. The government is giving money to Indian nations, individual people, 5,000, 10,000, 20,000. Money will not solve that problem that we endured in our day school days, in our residential school era.
Mhm.
Money's not going to solve the problem. The problem is for you to understand, me as an individual, to understand what went on in the minds of those people, to be able to uh, 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 recognize, not to accept, to be able to recognize
Mm.
what they were trying to do and how our people were used, I guess I can say, were used in relation to, oh, to steal the land,
Mhm.
more or less.
Mhm.
So my perspective on truth and reconciliation, it's a time for healing. It's a time to bring back that wellness of that truth
Mhm.
and continuing to live our lives. And I've said this before in relation to that disconnect with the elders and children has happened within the last 40 years.
Mhm.
And that those 7 grandfather teachings that we have today, we lived those. I lived those as a child.
Mhm.
My parents lived those as children. My grandparents lived those as children. But that disconnect happened about 50 years ago, that disconnect from the elders and children
Mhm.
became evident in our everyday lives. So I think that's the whole process of those 7 grandfather teachings. That's why they became a written form, because people didn't understand what they meant because of that disconnection that happened with the
Mhm.
So that's the whole idea of that truth and reconciliation. And I think it's going to help solve this mediating problem as we go along. It's not going to solve the problem tomorrow. It's not going to solve it next year. Maybe 5, 10 years down the road.
Mhm. So I have kind of two questions in response to what you just said, Isadore. The first is, you said something up front about the fact that, in a way, what's happened has happened. It's the past. I think you mentioned that the people who did those horrible things aren't with us anymore. Um, Not to sort of challenge that, but isn't it the case that at least some of the people who were running residential schools are probably still around, right?
Oh, I don't think so. I think they'd be long dead by now.
Yeah. Okay. I'm just curious because I thought, I mean, it's a shock for me to think about this, but my understanding was that the last residential school closed like in the 90s or something.
Oh yeah. You're right. There's still some people. I was talking back in the 1800s.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, because I guess in a way it sort of should address everything, right? That's happening.
Right.
Okay, and then that brings me to another question, which is again a bit open-ended, but um, the framing that you gave to it makes a lot of sense. Um, if you look at the sort of the approach or the model of truth and reconciliation, um, is it as it's kind of currently deployed, does it make sense to you? Do you sort of feel like, yes, it'll take some time, but it's sort of designed in a way that is going to get to the right place? Or are there things that you might do differently or that you think are maybe lacking?
Yeah, I think there are more things lacking in relation to the process in relation how it's being done. I think more consultation should have happened with individual tribes, with individual communities, with individual people, with individuals as a group setting.
Mm-hmm.
I think more discussion should have happened within each of those communities, maybe once a month type of thing, or every. I think a lot more money should have been generated from the government, federal government, to allow those talks to take place and record those talks in relation to what we had endured.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Well, this is not a one episode discussion. I'm sure we'll talk about this going forward. As I said, it's something I've wanted to ask you, and I'm glad I got a chance to. So thank you for sharing.
All right.
All right. Well, let's go forward and talk to Bev. So the first thing I want to do for my weekly grade is to show you what I did the last time based on your model. So I'm going to hit play, and people can follow along with the Anishinaabe one on the slides. Let me just pull that up. Okay, so let me hit play.
Ani Bev, Isna wa netagwad, gidabajmuin. Taga wewene, nadago indizan, minwa nuwebin. Indo bigo sendam, jimana wa negozien. Manda pi minagijigak, megwa e yaman. Nahao, bama.
So how do we do?
97.
97. Okay. Okay. Cool. All right. So this was if people don't recall from the last episode, this was in response to a story that Bev told about falling asleep while she was working, and then waking up and seeing herself in the mirror and not realizing who she was looking at. So what I basically just said was hello, Bev. That is a very funny story. Please take care of yourself and get some rest. I hope that you're able to enjoy the nice warm weather that we are having. Okay, later. And if you're interested in a breakdown of this in Anishinaabe one, you can go back to episode 9, where we do a detailed breakdown of that message. Okay, so I mentioned that there was a bit of a treat this week, and I think Bev may actually be onto something because instead of just sending a voice recording this week, she sent the video, which we're going to look at. So I'm going to hit play, and then we can talk about what she said.
Ani minang ko siya dayan just kamkyang. Pinash mo pi manda ni. Net negan. Pinash manda niya. Nisnabe ko siya ang sakira. Ismila mada matsini. And just aga sasu kwang. Manda ge. Pinash manda nemokachi we born it we equipped just equipped the chick. Pinash maba. Na Cynthia ni yewe ni and then ni kwaji banat kwaji nemokachi stuck. Mr. Shandayan come get young. Ha bama.
Okay, that was awesome. I believe that's Bev's place, if I could kind of see it carefully in the background. And so let's talk about what she said. So, can we have the first sentence, Isadore?
All right. So, ani minanggo jinda enje skan keyang. Mi nango. So, meaning this is where today at this time. Jinda here. Enje is the location, place of, and she's making the skan ke yang, where we are making the skan. That ke at the end tells you it's where they're making, they're building, they're creating. So anytime you see that ke at the end, it tells you you're making something. Skan ke yang, and that yaang, yaanh tells you that it is me that is doing. I think she said Skan K Young, so I think I typed that wrong.
Okay.
Skan K Young. So it should be yaang.
Okay. So, Isadora, I want to say one thing. This is a testament to what an unbelievable teacher you are. If I look at what we've done in episode, basically the pilot episode up until episode 9, everything that's in that sentence we've covered or we've seen before. So there wasn't anything in that surprised me or where I found myself wondering what it meant. So thank you.
Oh, well, thank you.
Yeah, step by step. Okay, so what about the next one? Minash.
Minash Mampi Manda. So the word Minash tells you it can be said in different ways. She can say Minwa Dash. Minosh, just a shorter form. Minosh. Minwa Dash. Mampi is here. Mampi. Manda Ni nidnigan. Ni means that of which it is. Ni. Nidnigan is that big bowl of dough that you saw. Nidnigan.
Okay. So is nidnigan the actual dough?
The nidnigan is the actual dough that she's talking about, yes.
Okay. Yeah, so it's interesting. I've definitely heard her. I know one thing she says a lot is mish for midash. This is the first time I've heard her say minash. That's
yes.
Okay, so minash, I understand. Mampi here, manda, the inanimate this is, and then ni'e, of course, we know. That's something Beverly says a lot. So nidnigan, can you talk about that word? Is there anything in that word that would sort of speak to why it means dough?
Nidnigan is something that you are creating with your hands. Do nidnan, meaning I am making this. It could be anything. So in this case, it's dough.
Okay.
Do nidnigan. And I guess it's specifically for food related.
Okay.
Yeah. If I was to say do jichigan is something that I'm creating, making. Do jichigan. For example, let's say I made this shirt. Do jichigan. I can't call it do nidnigan because I didn't mix anything food wise to make this. So do jichigan. So do nidnigan makes it that I mixed it up to make that dough.
Okay, so just so I understand, could she use nitnagan for other things, and it just because of the context we know it means dough in this case, or does that actually just mean dough?
No, it's specifically dough.
Dough. Okay, makes
Yeah.
sense. Okay, so then minash.
All right, and then where are we? Minosh. Here's that Minosh again.
Mhm.
Minosh manda nea anishinaabe kwejagansag ngi jeag. So Minosh again. Minodash
Mhm.
manda nea manda meaning this. Nea that what it is.
Mhm.
Anishinaabe kwejagansag meaning small Indian breads.
So like little rolls or buns, right?
Yeah. Kwejagansag. Ngi jeag meaning I created, I made them.
Ah, it's like this code we're starting to crack. Like I'm seriously seeing these words and finally getting them.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. So okay. So minash, as you said, mandania kata nishnabe, and then gan we've had before, which is basically bread.
Right.
So is it correct that the ans at the end is diminutive
It makes it small, yes.
right? And then the ug makes it plural.
Makes it plural, yes. Anything os, is, es, and us makes it diminutive, makes it small.
Got it. And then the ingi, of course, is the past tense for
I.
right?
Uh-huh.
And ji is the like jishiget, right? To do
Jichige or jitun, yes.
Jitun. And then yag, I guess, is because I'm making more than one of them.
Because I'm making more than one of them and animate.
Right. Got it. Okay, let's continue. So mish.
All right. So mish minoa manda mampi ni. And as we said, Bev says a lot of ni.
Mhm.
Mish minoa. So and then again, mish minoa manda mampi. Manda this,
Mm.
mampi here,
Mhm.
ni. Enje zasgokweang. Enje makes it the location. Zasgokwe is the location where we are frying.
Okay. Okay. So can you tell? Look, is there anything in zasko kweyang that sort of talks about what that word means?
Zasgokwe, if I just said the word zasgokwe, that would be the verb form of he or she is frying. Zasgokwan would be the actual metal or any frying pan. Zasgokwan.
Okay. This is just a total shot of the dark, but could you do something like zasko kek?
Zasgokwe kick?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can make a frying pan. That would be a frying pan.
Frying pan or a frying pot? Okay.
Yeah, like a frying pot, right.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, cool. Okay, and then manda ge.
Manda ge'e.
Mhm.
And she's talking about this, whatever this is. Manda ge'e.
Mhm.
Minosh gundak nemukaji wabuaning ewikwepizajig.
Mhm.
Here she's talking about the blanket dogs. Manda ge'e. And this.
Mhm.
Minosh gundak. Gundak meaning these animate objects.
Mhm.
Nemukaji is the dog. Nemukaji.
Ah, nemosh.
Yeah, nemush.
Okay.
Yes. Nemukaji wabuaning, the blanket. In the blanket, wabuaning,
Mhm.
ewikwepizajig. Ewikwepizajig meaning that are wrapped in the blanket. Ewikwepizajig. So in this case, we call those the blanket dogs.
Okay. So this is interesting. So just to kind of get into the details here. So gondak, as you said, is these, right? The plural.
These animate forms.
Okay. Nemoka gene comes from nemosh.
Yes.
Is the gene at the end of it diminutive? Is it kind of like the little dog or no?
Yeah, that would be the little dog. Yes, nemoka gene.
Okay, and then wabuaning is in the blanket.
In the blanket, right?
Blanket. Okay. Now in the she had trouble saying this too, by the way. So web is a jig.
Wiikwemikoong.
Wiikwemikoong. Okay. So the question I wanted to ask you is the Wiikwe in there and the Wiikwemikoong related, or is that just a coincidence?
I would think so. Wiikwe would be that wrap around that goes along the bay.
Mm-hmm.
It's wrapped around the bay. Wiikwe.
Mm-hmm.
So here, the blanket you use to wrap around you,
Mhm.
Wiikwe. Yeah,
Okay.
it's related.
Okay. All right. And then
Minosh Maba.
Hmm.
Maba means this person.
Mhm.
And then this person, Na'a. And so it is Cynthia. So she was introducing Cynthia at that time.
Mhm. Okay.
Migei, and so it is her, Migei, we ni'i, ene ni'i Wiikwemikoong, that she is the one that is wrapping those things.
Got it. So okay, understood. So the Wiikwemikoong is the act of wrapping.
Right.
Right. Okay. What about so a couple of things. So the beginning of that. So the ene ni. What is the ene there?
Ene is that she's doing that action as a continuum. Ene Wiikwemikoong. Ene Wiikwemikoong.
Okay. So there's two kind of questions that are kind of burning in my head right now. So the first is, if we go back a couple of sentences to manda ge'e. You see what it is? Okay. Could instead of that she have said manda ni'i
Yeah, she could have said manda ni'i, yeah.
or manda ge'e? They're sort of interchangeable.
Yeah, they can be interchangeable.
Okay. And then going back to the ene for a second, can you contrast the ene with the ke? So at the beginning, skon kean. So the ke part of that with ene.
Meaning in a skonkeo?
Yeah. So I'm trying to remember.
No, it can't. It would not work that way.
Okay. Oh, no. Sorry. What I'm asking something a little different. So it maybe that chaos is not the right example. We've had words before where I believe that if you add the sound ke, it means the doing of that thing.
To make or to create something.
Right. To create something. Okay. And so the ene is a different meaning from that ke?
Yes, it's a totally different meaning.
Okay. So
yeah, this ene would be the continuum of doing whatever that it is that she's doing.
I see. Okay, understood. Okay, and then bekwejagang?
Bekwejagan minwa namukaji sug. So bread and the blanket dogs.
Got it.
Bread and the wieners, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Misa jinda en kamagizyang. Misa jinda. So and so it is at this location, jinda. En kamagizyang. Nahabama. And kamagizyang this is where that action takes place.
Okay. Awesome. All right, let's play it again, and people can follow along with the Anishinaabe one.
Ani minang gusto dayan just kankyang. Pinasmanti mandani. Net negan. Pinasmanda. Yeah. Nisnabe question answer kira. Ishmina mother matini. And just a sasu kwan. Mandage. Pinasmanda. Nemokachi we born it we equipped the chick. Minosh Maba. No, Cynthia, ni and then he kwaji banat, kwajgan, namukaji stuck. Mr. Shandayan, come get young. Ha, Bama.
Okay, so it's not just me on that word. Okay, so one thing I wanted to ask is, what do you think? I think the video worked pretty well.
That works very well. Yes.
Yeah, so what I want to do, and actually I realized we did not create the Anishinaabemon version of my message yet, but that's okay. We can do that after. So let me just for now show you what I want to say in English. And then maybe after we finish recording, we can do that, and then we can play it back for people the next episode. But basically what I want to say is, hello, Bev. Thank you for the video. It's very nice to actually see you. And this is much better than sending only a voice message. So I think we should basically say to her, from now on, please send videos instead of, we'll add this after, but instead of just voice recordings that Isadore and I can look at together and show everyone. It's very interesting to see what life is like in Wiikwemikoong. Thank you. Okay, later. So we can do an Anishinaabe version of that after, and then we'll play it back at the next episode. But for now, let's go to fun with words.
All right.
And what we're going to do today is something interesting, which is look at the entirety or a large part of the human body. And what we're going to do is more than just the broad strokes, obvious things. We went a little more detailed, and hopefully there's some things in these words that we might pick up. So maybe if we could just start, Isadore, with what's already on the page.
All right. We have the word ndip. Ndip. Some you will hear the word nstigwan.
Oh, okay.
Nstigwan.
And is that in both Odawa where you would use it?
Ojibwe would be more nstigwan, and the ndip would be more Odawa.
Okay. And then we also have for man and woman, which we've seen before.
Yes, we have nene for man, and we have kwe for woman. Kwe. And in Ojibwe, you're going to hear ikwe with an I in the beginning. Ikwe.
Okay, great. So let's look at different parts of the body.
All right, here we have ndengwe. Ndengwe, my face. Ndengwe.
Okay. And so what we're going to see is these are largely of the form of my, which is why we have the N at the beginning, right?
Right.
It's a possessive. Ndengwe. So if it was your, I would say Gudengwe.
Yes, you would say Gdengwe. Gdengwe.
Okay. And
then if it was his or hers, it would be Odengwe with the O in the front, but it's not really pronounced. Odengwe. Notice my mouth. Odengwe. Dengwe.
Okay.
All right. And minjis. Minjis or minjisan. Minjis.
Okay. And actually, yeah, I should ask, I mean, basically just consider this question asked for any of these words, but if there's anything in the word that would be of interest so far.
Oh, for me?
Yeah. Like anything in the words.
I just know the word minjis means my hair. I can't decipher the word to say where it's from or what it literally means.
Okay, all right. So we'll just go and I mean, I'll keep asking that. Just
no problem.
All right.
And ngatik, ngatik.
Okay.
My forehead, ngatik. Towaganan. Towagan would be one. Towaganan would be two. Towagan.
Okay.
Ndun, my mouth. Ndun. Nuibidan, my teeth. Nuibidan. Or nuibid, one tooth. Nuibid. Nkwegan. Nkwegan. My neck. Nkwegan.
Okay, so before we move forward, I'll ask the question again if there's any of these words where you see something that might be of interest inside the word. And if not, we can go forward.
Nkwegan, ndun, towaganan, nuibidan. No, there's
No?
not really anything that stands out for me.
Okay, all right. So we'll go on.
Here we have Nskijik, Nskijik,
Hmm.
my eye,
Mhm.
Nskijigun.
Okay, my eyes.
Mm-hmm. Namao Mao Gun. Namao Mao Gun.
Hmm. So that's kind of an interesting one. Mao Mao. So it's this kind of repeated sound. Is there anything in that word?
Yeah, I don't know where the word would have come from.
Hmm.
Namao Mao Gun.
Okay.
But that nagan should not be. So if you're talking about two of them, namamawaganan.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So the singular is Mao Mao gun?
Yeah, mamawagan would be the one
Okay.
singular.
Got it. Okay. So
Okay.
I'll update that after.
Sorry, Mike should have
No, it's fine.
got that.
Okay.
Josh.
Hmm.
Josh.
Okay. My nose.
Uh-huh. Nawag. Nawag.
Okay.
Again, same thing. Nawaganan.
Ah, okay. So that one. Okay, understood. So
Nawaganan.
Nawag is the singular.
Right.
Okay. So Nawaganan. Okay.
Ndamkan.
Hmm.
Ndamkan. My chin.
Okay.
Ndamkan.
Okay. So all right. So those are the parts that are surrounding the head, and now we're going to go to the body. So first, it's the word there.
Oh, nuio.
Nuio.
Nuio. My body.
Okay.
Nuio. Dinamangan. Dinamangan. Dinamanganan. Two of them. Dinamangan. Dinamanganan.
Okay. My shoulders.
Kakan. Kakan. My chest. Kakan.
Okay.
Nick or Nikan. Nick. Nikan.
Hmm. My arms.
Duskwin. Duskwin. My elbow. Duskwin. And Duskwinan. Both of them.
Okay.
Ninj. Ninj. My hand.
Hmm.
Ninj. Ninjin. Ninjin.
It's my hands, the plural.
Yes. Gchit ninj. My thumb. Gchit ninj.
So that's interesting. So, and then the plural for that would be ingiche ninjin.
Yeah, and gchit ninjin.
Now, what's interesting there is that basically, with the giche, basically means big hand in a way.
Right.
Interesting. Okay.
And then we have the ninji sun, meaning the fingers. Ninji sun. But that can also mean small hands.
Yeah. Interesting. So the thumb would translate literally as big hand, and the fingers translate as the little hand.
Right.
That's cool. That's interesting. Okay.
Nshkarsh. Nshkarsh. Nshkajig. Nshkajig.
Okay.
And that's the same word that is used for bejigaji, for horse.
Hmm.
Bejigaji, because the horse has the one hoof, one nail.
So
Bejigaji.
basic is one, and then the gaji is the nail.
Shkaji, yeah, bejigaji.
Okay. All right. So that's fingernails, and then
Cod.
Mhm.
Cod, my leg.
Mhm.
Codan, my legs.
Okay.
Codan. Pajak.
Hmm.
And you hear Njichi
Hmm.
and Enje Nini Weyan. Enje Nini Weyan.
Okay, and so that obviously means penis. Now,
Yes.
or sorry, my penis.
Mhm.
Now, there's a bunch of questions I have here. So the first is I want to just reiterate something you told me recently, which is that there aren't really swear words in Anishinaabe, right? So this is not recognized to be some horrible term you should never say
No, it's not a dirty word. It's a part of your body that we learned as children
Mhm.
what it is.
Okay. So then the other thing is these three words, are all of these would make sense in Odawa?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
And so for Pajak and Njichi, is there anything in those two words? But then I'm quite certain there's something in the third one, so we can come to that separately.
But I've just always known them to mean penis,
Okay.
pajak and njichi.
Okay. So what about the last one?
The last one tells you it is the location where my manhood is at.
So Enje is that location, right?
Right.
And Nene is man, so basically
Right.
the manhood. And then Wiya is it is essentially.
It is, right.
That's interesting. So and would that be considered sort of like an indirect way of saying it? Is that the idea?
Yeah, that would be the indirect way of saying it. Enjininiwiyan.
Okay. Okay. All right. Interesting. So let's continue. So we've got.
All right. Next, we have ndudush.
Mhm,
Ndudush, my breast.
mhm,
Ndudushug.
mhm.
Ndudushug.
Okay, my breast, plural.
And
And
men have breasts also.
sorry, can you say it again?
I said, and men have breasts also.
So for a man, it would also be called ndodo?
Yeah, it would be called, men with big pecs, they would be called dudush.
Okay. And then, of course, there's the word for milk,
Yes, that would be dudushabu.
which is the liquid from the breast.
The liquid, the milk liquid, yes.
Milk liquid. Okay. All right.
All right. And dudushes would be the nipple. Dudushes. The ants makes it the small, the
So
diminutive.
the small breast. Now, is that the same? It would be the same word for a man and a woman?
Yep.
Yep.
Mhm.
Okay. Right.
And we have ndisis.
Mhm.
Ndisis. Ndisisug. My belly button.
Okay. And so that's a diminutive of indis.
That would be the diminutive of ndis, yes.
And okay. So what is indis?
This would be my belly button. So I would say this for my belly button, but I would still call it ndisis,
I see. Okay.
my small belly button.
Got it. Okay. And then the next one, masad.
Oh yeah, masad, my stomach. Masad.
Okay. Ndankonik.
Dan konik, yes. Dan konik. And that comes from the anko, the continuum of the anko. Okay? The
Mhm.
continuum of my hand to my arm, the ankonik. So that's my wrist.
Okay. Is that anko used in any other situations?
Yeah, ankobijagan, meaning my great grandchildren.
Okay. So there's like connection.
Ankobijagan.
The connection.
Yeah, the connection.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Ankosen would be a wagon.
Okay. 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 All right.
Ngidig. Ngidig.
Mhm.
And ngidigun.
Okay. My knees.
Nzid, my foot. Nzidan, my feet.
Okay.
Nzidans, my toes. Nzidansan, my toes. Again, that could be my baby feet. Nzidans.
So diminutive of nzid.
Right.
Okay. Cool. Then last but not least.
Enjikwewiyan. And that is the location where my womanhood
Okay.
exists.
Which is vagina.
The
So
vagina, yeah.
So-
Enjikwewiyan.
okay. So enje, of course, is that location. Kwe being the woman, or meaning womanhood.
Uh-huh.
We are where it is or where it exists.
Right.
Interesting. Okay. All right. So let's go to the last one. So we're still in Wiao, which is my body.
Nuio.
Nuiao.
Nuio. And then we have Bakwun. Bakwun, my back.
Mhm.
Bakwun.
Okay.
Patricia just popped in and she says, Enjamishizit. Enjamishizit is where the hair grows.
Okay.
Oh. Okay, so Bakwakanagan.
Mhm.
Bakwakanagan.
Mhm.
My ankle. Bakwakanagan.
Okay, so what's in that word? There has to be something in that word.
I don't know.
No?
I mean, I don't say it enough to know it.
Okay.
Bakwakanagan.
I remember, I don't know if it was this word, but there was a word for ankle that I do remember Ninateg telling me, which I believe he said something like there was some part of the word that had to do with like a ball, like that bone of your ankle that sticks out.
Oh yeah,
Is that possibly in this word?
that would be Bakwa is the hump.
Okay, the hump.
Yeah, the bump that ball you're talking about.
Okay, that sticks out.
Yeah,
Okay. All right.
and then we have Ndien.
Mhm.
Ndien, my butt.
Okay.
Ndundan. Ndundan.
Mhm.
And my heels would be Ndundanan.
Okay, my heel. Okay, fantastic. So that actually went by quicker than I would have thought. It always kind of catches me off guard when we get to the end, but we have reached the end of another episode.
Wow, that was quick.
Yeah. So Gachi Miigwech, as always. And I look forward to the next episode with you, Isadore.
All right, very good.
Now, one thing before we sign off, and I'll mention this up front next time, but two things. If anyone has a question at the beginning of the episode that they want Isadore to answer or me to answer, make sure you put it in the comments down below. And one other thing that you and I had talked about is these materials that we're using shouldn't just be for us. And if there's any educators out there who want access to the materials that we've been creating, just send us a comment in the comments below the video, and we'll send you a link so you can access this and use it for your own purposes. So, Bama Pete Minwa Kalabmin.
Ahaw, Bama Pigenigo Wabmin.
Okay. If you enjoyed this video and think that others should see it, please hit the like button below. All likes help us get seen by others. And of course, be sure to subscribe so that you can stay up to date on all new episodes. Make sure to turn notifications on so that you will know when we upload a new episode. Gachi Miigwech.